Muhammad ibn Muslim lived in Kufa. How many hadith does he narrate? Maybe 15,000, 30,000. One of the greats of hadith. Muhammad ibn Muslim misses Imam Baqir alayhi salam so much that he decides in the middle of the night in Kufa at night to embark on a journey to go all the way to Medina. Hundreds of kilometers, hundreds of miles. No, usually people do not start a journey at night. But he missed Imam Baqir alayhi salam so much, he says, I have to visit Imam Baqir alayhi salam, I have to start. And that's love. Love of Ahlul Bayt is this way. You maybe have seen this sometimes. You don't even plan on going to ziyarat. They take you there. They take you to ziyarat. So he says he embarked on this journey. He put so much pressure on himself to ride fast to see Imam Baqir alayhi salam. I believe it's Imam Baqir, Imam Baqir, inshallah. And finally he reaches Medina. He reaches Medina and now he is sick. He put so much pressure on himself, he becomes sick, he cannot see the Imam. But the Imam has knowledge. And a lot of traditions we have of this, that the Imam, remember, has three qualities that is different than a human being. First quality, appointed by Allah. Second quality, knowledge from Allah, not normal knowledge, he didn't study. It was given by Allah. Third is that they are infallible, they don't sin. Because they are the living Quran. They have to explain the Quran. They cannot make a mistake like this. So the Imam knows that Muhammad ibn Muslim is in town. He sends one of his servants to bring Muhammad ibn Muslim to him. But he says to him, says, I'm too sick. I'm too sick to come and visit the Imam. Maybe later. And then the servant says, actually, the Imam has prepared something for you. Drink this and come and see him. So he comes and he drinks this. Immediately, he is surprisingly cured. So what happened? I feel much better now, let's go. And he visits the Imam. He comes and visits the Imam. Possibly the Imam spoke to him and mentions maybe the narrations. هَلَ الدِّينِ إِلَّا الْحُبِّ وَالْبُغْضِ. Is religion anything else but love? Because he came all the way from Kufa, all the way just to see the Imam. Started from the middle of the night, rushed so much. So during that, Muhammad ibn Muslim then asks after their meeting, he says, tell me about this drink. What did you prepare? What was this that I drank? And he mentions to Muhammad ibn Muslim, it was something that was prepared with some of the dirt of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, some of the turbat of shafa of Imam Hussein, I prepared it. And he says, can I have some of this so I can give it to my family members, others, for example, to get a cure? And he mentions to him how to preserve this turbat. Can't just carry it openly. There's a special way to even take the turba of Imam Hussein, protect it. So you see that even the dirt of Imam Hussein is exclusivist to him. So therefore, when we try to understand Arbaeen, we see there are things that God wants from us to visit Imam Hussein, to learn. One of those lessons is that you see what Imam Hussein alayhi salam, what he did on the day of Ashura. How many here have read Dua al-Arafah? Dua al-Arafah, beautiful dua. Some have done it, some don't want it to be riyah, it's fine. Allah will accept, inshallah. They don't want to show off, it's fine. Dua al-Arafah is a dua that Imam Hussein speaks to Allah and is beautifully done. It shows us monotheism. Some of the lines maybe we'll go tonight if we have time. He takes Dua al-Arafah, and I want you to read some of the lines of how he talks and converses with God, and then how he implements this in Karbala. And he says, when he says, I'm a monotheist, when he says, I am the Rajin, I am those that is hopeful, he really means it because he acts upon it in Karbala. It shows, I really have hope. Because all the factors of despair were there. 72 versus 30,000, 100 versus 30,000. The end of Ashura, the afternoon of Ashura, Imam Hussein was all alone. His companions were shaheed. Everyone was shaheed. Ali Asghar, even his smallest companion, was shaheed. And he ran into the ranks of the enemy, courageous, because he was hopeful. So this is a reality that Imam Hussein implements. He implements Dua Arafah in the day of Ashura. He implements this. So therefore if you want to learn how to worship God, if you want to learn how to be a slave of God, if you want to learn how to submit, how to have hope, how to never have despair, all these lessons, some of the scholars say 100 lessons are in Imam Hussein's Karbala. You learn from Imam Hussein. It's a place of education. Karbala of Imam Hussein is a university. And we said the goal of this university is what? To produce companions for the Imam of the age, because Imam of the age will be the revenger of Imam Hussein. The tradition has, they're killing Imam Hussein. The angels come complain to Allah, they're killing Hussein ibn Ali. There, Allah mentions that through him, shows him the Imam al-Zaman, Imam of the age, through him I will revenge you. The revenger is Imam al-Zaman. So if we are going to be aligned with the Imam of the age, Karbala has to be important for us, because it's important for Imam Mahdi. He's going to revenge the death of Imam Hussein. Karbala is teaching us all these lessons of sacrifice, fighting against injustice, how to be loyal, how to be courageous. So therefore we understand Arbaeen maybe is exclusive. Allah commands us because we have hadith to do it, and is a sign of the believers, so that maybe for 40 nights we can cry and mourn, and that Arbaeen can mean completion. How the number of 40 means completion. For example, if a person prays or worships God in the morning for 40 days, he'll receive what? Hikmah for 40, for example. Or when Musa alayhi salam met Allah, it was 30. It was first 30. وَأَتْمَمْنَاهَا بِعَشْرٍ وَأَتْمَمْنَاهُ بِعَشْرٍ. Then we completed it with 40, for example. Or we have, for example, a person that takes a blind person, 40 steps. Somebody's blind. You take him 40 steps, Allah will give him how much? As if the world in gold. Imagine not only the gold that was here in San Francisco, the 49ers had, and they would take the gold, all of that, plus whatever is in the world, would give for a person that takes someone 40 steps. So 40 itself means what? Or for example, when a person reaches the age of 40, mashallah, most people here, I believe, is under 40, right? Almost everyone. Or they act, at least their health, and they act as a youth, so that's what's important, not the number. So when a person is 40, the tradition says either the aql is complete, or when a person is 40, now they should not make a mistake, because now they should understand better. So 40 we see in different, for example, a person that backbites for 40 days, his worship is not accepted. Person that drinks 40 days, his actions is not accepted. Person that knows 40 hadith, 40 traditions, the narration says that he is raised as a scholar. This one do not do. This one is not fair if you do, because the scholars go and study, they go to Qom, Najaf for tens of years. You're just going to learn 40 years and get the rank of a scholar, so please don't do this one, it's too easy for you. Sometimes you have to tell them the opposite to encourage, for example. You get raised as a scholar, it's not for in the day of judgment, the ulama say, wait a minute. He didn't just memorize 40 hadith and now he's with us. So therefore, Arbaeen means this, the completion, and there's so much to learn, invaluable lessons, priceless lessons, that if you really look at what Imam Hussein has to offer for us, truly is the highest type of rizq. If you want to say what is the best rizq that God can give you, because provisions are of two types. They're material, or the spiritual. And the spiritual has different levels. One of the highest things that God can give you is the love of Imam Hussein, love of Ashura, Azadari, Ziyarat, and you see, oh, I'm transformed. I'm slowly becoming like the companions of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, because the traditions have bina or bidallah, bina or ifallah. Through us Allah is worshipped, through us Allah is known. When He wants you to know Him, He will give you love of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So therefore, the 40th Imam Hussein, we can understand it as completion of Azadari for us. And hopefully every time we approach the Arbaeen and Ashura and Azadari of Imam Hussein, more opens for us, inshallah. Let's recite salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ala. Talking about Islah, change. And what better time to change than Arbaeen of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Hopefully, do you feel change? after coming to majlis, after, it's very interesting, in many countries, many places, you see, people forget God. They go back to their ways. And then Muharram and Safar comes, it washes everything away. All of that is taken away, they go back on track. They go back to treating people properly, and for example in Karbala, treating them very nicely because of the Zahir of Imam Hussein. All that sin is washed. So one of the best opportunities, brothers and sisters, do not take the azadari of Imam Hussein just to do it. It's very rewarding. It's very rewarding, and you're blessed to do it. But use it properly. And that after Muharram Safar is over, I say, oh, I feel different now. I feel great now. I learned from Imam Hussein alayhi salam. I'm Husseini. I have what is called ma'iyyat. I am with Hussein, because Ziyad Ashura says, make me with Hussein, this dunya and the akhirah. Means ma'iyya is one of the sahib, Shifa al-Sudur, one of the great commentaries of Ziyad Ashura mentions. Ma'iyyat, one of the meanings of this companionship is that you begin to take Husseini traits. When you're with somebody, it means you start to become like them. So make me with Imam Hussein in the dunya and akhirah, make me like him. Make me like him. That's what should happen. When you love someone, what happens? You start to resemble them. So when you talk about change, there's 3 positions a person can be in. You can be in 3 positions. He can be stagnant, not doing anything. You can be, for example, regress and go back to your previous state, or you could progress. Right? Is there any other state than this? 3 states. When we look at Imam Hussein's Ashura, we see all 3 prevalent. All 3 exist. Some excelled, some progressed, like the story of Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi, a Yazidi general, courageous, very strong person. One thing saved him, the love of Fatima to Zahra. The love of Fatima to Zahra allowed him to connect to Imam Hussein. He had a little bit of connection, ittisal. And that connection is what we're looking for. That connection with Imam Hussein will take a Yazidi on the day of Ashura and make him become Husseini. That connection. It's the day of Ashura. He's wondering what's going on. People are watching him. Oh, you're never a coward. You're never afraid. You're one of the bravest people I know. Why are you shaking? Why are you so confused? What are you doing? And there he mentions that I do not want to be of those that go to hell. And he rushes towards Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And there he mentions that truly I see myself between paradise and hell. So I see myself between paradise and hell, and by God, if I get torn apart and burned, I will not choose anything but paradise. Upon saying this, Hur directed his horse towards the campsite of Imam Hussein. He ran away from the hellfire. He ran away from the hellfire. Is this progress or what? One of the best cases of progress is this. Then he comes to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and Imam Hussein alayhi salam beautifully accepts him. Imagine if we had a religion where repentance was not allowed. Imagine having an imam that wasn't kind and compassionate, says, you starved me, you made my children thirsty, for example, I'll never forgive you. But no, Imam Hussein is Safinatun Najat. Imam Hussein is the ship of salvation, and it tells Hur, and the Maqtal says, you are Hur. What does Hur mean? A free man. You are a free man in this world and the hereafter. You are now free. You are free. So one example of progress in Ashura. One example of stagnation. Many people that didn't call the plea of help for Imam Hussein, they didn't answer this. They didn't come to help Imam Hussein. They're stagnant, or we even call this group regression. Or you see those that, for example, like Umar ibn Sa'd, whose father, for example, would mention the fada'il of Amir al-Mu'minin to Muawiyah. He knew Imam Ali alayhi salam. He was not one of those that from the beginning had hatred of Hussein ibn Ali and Imam Ali. He knew them, and his father would say, I heard Rasulullah say this about Amir al-Mu'minin. Why are you cursing Ali alayhi salam? But what fooled him? The governments of Ray. His father was the one in Qadisiyah. He took power of the Persian Empire. He conquered the Persians, for example. One of the generals was Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas. So therefore you see that one loves Ray. Ray is one of the capital right now is the capital. Tehran is the capital of Persia, but it was an important area, in Persia. So because of this, and that's why he keeps hesitating, there's this fight inside of Umar ibn Sa'd all the time. Should I not? He wasn't like those like Shem that was thirsty for the blood of Imam Hussein. He's just contemplating what to do. What about this government? What about Ray? And that Ray is what? That land area is what fooled him and tricked him and caused him his destruction. And Ziyad Arbaeen talks about this, that those that sold themselves for a cheap price. When you sell your Imam Hussein alayhi salam for a few acres of land, for example, you sell Imam Hussein for a cheap price. We have other examples throughout the Quran of people that were very good and then they crashed. It's the fall of the elite. And all these stories that you hear, the moral of it is that, dear believer, do not ever think you're saved yet. Your test is not over. Many people were better than us, more pious than us, and they regressed. They never did Islah, they never changed themselves, and actually did the opposite. They caused corruption to themselves. Has anyone here heard of the story during Prophet Moses' time, alayhi salam, of Bal'am Ba'ura? Bal'am was known, they say, to have Ismul A'dam. Some say he had Ismul A'dam. What is Ismul A'dam? It is a name, they say, wherever you call it, it happens. Whatever you want. You say this name of Allah, it happens. Some say it's a name. There's different opinions about it. Some say it's a name. Some say it's a station, something you reach. Some say it's the name and station. For example, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is one of the closest things to Ismul A'dam. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It's that powerful. And that's why sometimes it says that you will not be successful with doing something until you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, for example. Very powerful. So Bal'am Ba'ura was very high in position. He had Ism A'dam. Way higher. Does anyone here have an Ism A'dam? As far as we know, no. And if you do, you're not going to tell us, for example. So he had Ism A'dam. Watlu alayhim, Quran mentions. Naba alladhi ataynahu ayatina. We gave him of our ayat, we gave him of our signs. What are the signs they say? Gave him the great name of Allah. But what happened? It says that وَلَوْ شِئْنَا رَفَعْنَاهُ بِهَا وَلَكِنَّهُ أَخْلَدَ إِلَى الْأَرْضِ. He came towards the earth. He adhered to the earth. وَاتَّبَعَ هَوَى. And he followed his low desires. Bal'am Ba'ura. So what happened? Someone that had such a high connection to Allah now sells and follows the Hawaii nafs that perpetually commands us to do evil, and he crashes. And then Quran says about him, so his example is like that of the dog. Ism Adam, now dog. He pants, or if you leave him, he pants. This is the example of those who denied our signs. So very possible that, God forbid, brothers and sisters, especially those that are younger, those that are growing up, never be overconfident. Nobody here is guaranteed. Even right now, you're Shia, you're in the Majlis of Imam Hussein. Nobody is guaranteed paradise until the end. Until they come, our death comes, and they inform us that, this is what's going to happen to you, paradise, inshallah. So that means for us that there's this continuous danger that exists, that there is a hellfire underneath of us. If we really were to imagine this, there's a well underneath us, and that you can never truly be calm until you know that you have passed this very dangerous position. If we knew that we were going to go to heaven, what do you think would happen if God informed us? There's a mystery, right? What would happen right now? Somebody came and told us everyone here is going to heaven no matter what. Maybe Salatul Fajr will be done. Dhuhr and Asr, okay, I'm already going to heaven, for example. Khoms, I don't need to pay it anymore, I'm already going to heaven. I would stop trying. Now what would happen, God forbid, now this masjid, the other masjid, for example, they say everyone is going to hell. So I'm going to give up, I'm going to stop praying. God will never forgive me, God will never accept me. So do you see how beneficial it is for this mystery? Did you never know you're going to heaven, you're never going to hell? It keeps you, cautious. It keeps you very careful of yourself so that you always feel humble and you're actually making dua, Allah save me from the hellfire, Allah save me from the hellfire. So therefore, this is one of the fears that we have, is this ultimate regression. Now about those that are stagnant, and this is maybe more pertinent to us, is that I've been coming to the majlis of Imam Hussein alayhi salam for very many years, but I am still the same person. I'm talking about myself. I haven't progressed. There are those I've seen, they've reached very high stations. Some of the ulama, scholars, some of the sulaha, great people. They reach very high positions, but I'm always at the same level. Same level of knowledge, same level of piety. I don't go down, I don't go up. Is this good, do you think? At least they're maintaining something? Do you think this is something good? At least they're not going down. Actually, the tradition talks about this from Rasulullah. Man istawa yawmahu fahuwa maghboon. Whoever is 2 days, not even months, 2 days is equal, then he is at loss. He is at loss. What did he lose? He lost life. He lost life. There's this teacher, he comes and I'm not sure if it's a fable or just a story, anyways. There's this teacher of ethics. He's telling his students, it's dark. He tells his students, pick up whatever you can. Gather as much as you can. 2 groups of students, some of them, they didn't really trust the teacher. Okay, grab what? It's dark. Okay, grab something, I'm done. Some of them trusted teacher. Oh, teacher said grab, I will grab. He begins to grab, and fills his sack all the way. Then it becomes daytime. What was it? What was that in that darkness? They say it was precious stones, diamonds, rubies, Bitcoin, whatever you like, for example, was in there. If it was tangible. Next morning, everyone is sad. This we don't get. Why is everyone sad? Those that took a little, they said, oh man, I wish I would have listened to teacher and took much, diamonds, rubies, it's great. The other that took a lot says, I wish I had a larger bag, I would have taken more. It was diamonds and rubies, even this much I took was not enough. Teacher says this is the example of the world, the dunya, that however much you take from this world, this is a place for you to take these precious stones, which is amal salih, good action. And however much you take, you will still be sad, because there's so much out there. You only take a little bit, you'll be sad. You take a lot, you'll be sad. This is where we are. That's why we can understand that person whose 2 days is equal means he didn't pick anything up that day. He didn't do anything for himself that day. Brothers and sisters, there'll be those on the day of judgment, they wish they will be given another chance. Take me back to this world. But the Quran mentions to them that there is no second chance. There's no other life. Now that you've seen the reality, it does not benefit you to come back to this world. Every day, some of the traditions say the family members who have passed away, they call out to you, to us, do something for me, do something for me. Every day they call out, maybe read some Quran for me, do some charity for me. It means, because just like in this world, our taste, for example, is, we love diamonds, rubies, money, dunya. Our taste changes in the hereafter, and we're thirsty for good action. Amal salih, salat, oh wow, look at him, look how much salat he has. Today, how we value people with who's the biggest billionaire ever, tomorrow you'll be valuing, who has the most action. He's a billionaire when it comes to action. One of our scholars says, when you look at a child, that little child changes madaq, his tastes change. When a child is born, what is he addicted to? Milk. Milk all the time. Drives mom crazy, for example, right? Then it starts changing. He's introduced to something that's very sweet for him and tastes different than that milk he's been having all the time. Sugar, a little bit of sugar. Oh, what is that? becomes happy, give me more, more, more. He loves sugar, 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 candy, candy, candy. Later on, he likes, for example, I don't know, fast food. What do the young people like today to eat? I don't know, French fries, whatever it is. Later on, you even develop more, and then you actually like, when most people are young, I'm Persian, we didn't like Persian food. When you're a really young kid, you don't like it. You develop a taste. You get older, you say, wow, this is much better than pizza, for example. So your madagh, your taste changes as you grow into an adult, and you change. As we grow spiritually and we recognize the reality, our taste changes. First here, dunya is very, in a way, very intriguing for us. But in the hereafter, we come to dunya, it's gone, we can't even bring it. But amal salih, wow, that is something that is great. So before it's too late, we cannot be stagnant, brothers and sisters. We have to be of those that use our time wisely. Have a program for yourself. One of the ways that we can always progress is becoming more literate about our religion. Learning more about our religion. Learning. Many kids today do not know how to read the Quran. Learning Arabic, learning how to read it. Learning what the meanings are, how beautiful Quran is. One of the biggest miracles of Quran is the eloquence. You can understand the eloquence by knowing Arabic, by practicing, reciting. There is this child that left his hometown and he went to the Hawza at a young age, very young age. And at that time when they went to the Hawza, it didn't have the resources as today. He went to Isfahan Hawza, for example, from where he was, Isfahan, to somewhere else. He was very young. His father comes and makes a surprise visit to him. I don't know if here there's any college students. What happens when your parents surprise you and come to see your dorms? I remember the dorms that we had, when we took in the carpet, it was completely white. Very white. When we gave it back, it was completely white again. How is that possible? You can give it exactly how you took it, because the clothes always covered the rugs, for example. The carpet, it was always perfect. So imagine a surprise visit from their father, for example. And the father comes and says, how is his young son doing? He says, he doesn't have food. It's cold. He doesn't have coal. So this story is about 70, 100 years ago. What does he have? Nothing. So he comes and he gets so upset at his son. He says, you better come back. This is not a place for you. In the cold, shivering, hungry, you don't have anything to warm yourself up. You're too young. That's it. You're coming home. Your dreams are over. Son begins to cry. He says, no, Allah help me. My dream is to be a scholar. I want to be an alim. Allah, you possibly hear this tawassul to the Imam of the age, Imam Mahdi. Because we believe that the leader of the Hawza of the entire world is Imam Azam, especially the Hawza. Because the scholar is just doing some of the positions of the Imam of the age. The head is the Imam of the age. Miraculously, that time someone knocks, opens the door, his father gives, here's some money, here's some, for example, coal, here's some food. Let them, this man sends him a message. So the father says, let them know that we are in charge. You're never alone. You're never without a master. You're never masterless. And the father begins to cry. He cries and says, son, he believed this was a message from Imam al-Zaman. It was a message from the Imam of the age. He says, son, I am wrong. I apologize, son. Your path is right. Yes, there's starvation. Yes, there's hardship. Yes, there's cold. Yes, there's loneliness. But this is blessed by this, the path of Imam Mahdi. This is the ulum of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Later on, this child becomes known as Ayatullah al-Udma Abul Hasan al-Isfahani. One of the great Marajah that lived in Najaf, that was so impactful. They say even the Jewish community comes to his funeral in Iraq. Jewish community comes to his funeral. Ayatullah al-Udma Abul Hasan al-Isfahani, he becomes a young person that starved, a young person that was being frozen and all alone. in his dream that Imam Zawan came and saved his dream and sent a message, or somehow came and saved his dream. So that is one way that you see that there are those in this world who lived, contemporaries basically of us, or around the same time period of us, that they actually sacrificed their comfort for knowledge, and they gave their comfort. The biggest problem we have is we love comfort. We're addicted to comfort. We love the air conditioning to be 70. I think it's 78 is appropriate because I live in home, but it's too hot for many. 76, 78, 74, 72. We love it to be perfect, not too hot, not too cold. We cannot, and this is actually an addiction, if you really think of it. We're being addicted to comfort. And when somebody takes away our comfort, we go crazy. One of the scholars was saying that this is not a sin, but there is one thing that is the mother of all sin. What do you think it is? It's not a sin. It's not a sin by itself, but it causes all of our sins. It says laziness. Laziness. Laziness by itself is not necessarily a sin to be lazy, but it causes all the other sins. If you ask youth, why don't you do your salat? Why don't you pray? What do you think the main answers in the Muslim community? Is it they don't believe in God anymore? Is it they don't believe in the Prophet anymore? They're young. It's laziness. I don't feel like doing it. I'd rather do something else. I don't want to, wake up at this time. I don't want to destruct this video game. I'm at the end of it, for example. I have to continue this video game or this conversation. So this, for us, is a big wake-up call. If we're going to benefit and become Husseini, we have to not be of that person whose 2 days is equal. If our 2 days is equal, then we're at loss. One way to fix this, we will be ending. I don't want to take too much time. I think we've spoken too much. I'll just finish with the story. One way to fix this, I want you tonight to think, how valuable are you? How valuable are you? What is your potential for value? How valuable can you be? What is your potential? There was a meeting in Europe. Professors, academics were debating, what is the value of human life? What is the value of mankind? So they had different ideas presented. One of the scholars went from the Hausa. He went there, Allama Muhammad Taqi Jafari. He went there and also presented to people that were not religious necessarily. And there he mentions to them and says that the value of man is equal to what he chases. The value of man is what he seeks. That is his value. If he wants to just seek life and just work for 30 years to pay off a mortgage, I'm giving this example, for 30 years, and just have a house that's paid off, and every year it gets worth more and worth more, his value is $1 million. His value is $5 million, equal to the house. That's his value because that's what he seeks. If he just wants to seek a car, you're younger, I just want to have a nice car that whose doors open this way. I'm tired of opening it this way, for example. It has to open this way, it looks cool. My value is that car, $200,000, $500,000. But he says if a person seeks God, then he is priceless. He is priceless. You cannot put a value because you cannot put a value on God. They come and give a standing ovation to him. We haven't heard something like this. Man is equal to the value of God. Wow, you cannot, whatever he seeks, that's his value. And he comes back and says to the scholars, to the academics, the professors, he says, what I said? It was a speech of Ali ibn Abi Talib, Amir al-Mu'mineen. Allahumma where he says very beautifully in short, قدر الرجل على قدر همته. قدر الرجل على قدر همته. The measure or the value of a man is the value of what he seeks. So therefore, whatever you seek, if you seek God, you will be priceless. If you seek Him, There's no value they can put for you anymore. Even if the angels come, they're the ones who can put value. But if you're going to remain in this dunya and just care about your business only, not as a medium to help the community, because we need economic power. We need a strong Shia community that will help the Imam of the age. We need military power. Every type of power, we need it because we have to help the Imam of the age for defense, for help. But if your intention is only to have and to just collect, just to compete with others, for example, then your value will only be what you own and what you seek. But if tonight you say, I want to become a companion of the Imam of the age, I want to become true Hussein, I want to become a monotheist, I want to seek God, worship Him, please Him, may Allah make me pleased with Him and He be pleased with me, then your value will be priceless. Let's recite Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Can dim the lights, we'll do musibat for Imam Hussein alayhi salam. When people come back to their homes, and after they're on a long journey, usually they are happy to be home. Usually when they see the walls or the border of their town, they become happy. Because they say, yeah, there's attachment, say, I'm back home. Nothing feels, no place is like home. There's one caravan that when they came back to their house in Medina, they were not happy. They're very sad. That is the caravan of Imam Hussein alayhi salam's family members. After Imam Hussein becomes Shaheed, and his sister Lady Zainab, Kulthum, different ladies, different children, Imam Baghr alayhi salam, Imam Zainul Abidin. Now it's time for them to come back home. That is when you notice that people are missing. That is when you notice how much, for example, great the house of Imam Hussein alayhi salam is, and there's no Imam Hussein to worship Allah in it anymore. Now you look, they come and see the house, for example, of Hazrat Ali Akbar, and they see that there's no Ali Akbar in it anymore. This possibly makes them go back and think about what happened on that day. What happened on the day of Ashura to the Shuhada? What did they go through? There's a person who defended his land, defended his country, his religion from Saddam Hussein. And he said, he made this dua, because some of the youth don't know this. Dear youth, you don't know that Ali Akbar of Imam Hussein was killed in a different manner. The way that Hazrat Ali Akbar was mutilated was different. He made this dua. He says, may Allah make me a shaheed. May Allah help me fight against Saddam, but I want to be a shaheed. I want to be not a normal shaheed. I want to be shaheed like Ali Akbar. I want to be shaheed like Ali Akbar. They say during the war, a tank fired on him, on his body, and he was blown into pieces. He says, I want to become shaheed like Ali Akbar. Well, that's how Ali Akbar became shaheed. The hadith, the maqtal says, irban irba. It says pieces. Because at that time they came, they attacked the horse of Ali Akbar. And some of the maqtal says that the horse, instead of going towards the camp, took the body of Ali Akbar to the enemy's camps. Everyone there, they said, oh, his name is Ali. He's the son of Hussein. Whatever grudge and animosity they had, they emptied it on the body of Ali Akbar, cutting him as much as they could. And the maqtal says, now the sons of Bani Hashim, come and take Ali Akbar back to the tent. Why do the sons of Bani Hashim have to come? One person could come, But no, because with the body, I apologize, Imam of the age, because when the body is mutilated in this way, multiple people from Bani Hashim came to take the body of Hazrat Ali Akbar. This is when Lady Zainab, she rushes towards Imam Hussein alayhi salam, rushing towards him. How does Lady Zainab wearing an abaya, wearing a chador, how fast did she run through the army of Sham, through the army of Kufa? How many times do you know how difficult it is to run with a abaya, to run with a chador? How many times must have Lady Zainab fell on the ground and stood up, fell on the ground and stood up to come and help her son, to come and help her brother Imam Hussein alayhi salam. At that time, Imam Hussein commands the Bani Hashim to take the body of Hazrat Ali Akbar. Imam Hussein alayhi salam says to Ali in the Maqtal, Ba'daka ya Ali, ala dunya ala afa, after you Ali, the world is like dust. The world does not have meaning for me. Hazrat Ali Akbar, you broke the back of Imam Hussein. You were the jihad Akbar of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Inna lillahi inna ilayhi raji'un. Matam al-Hussein alayhi salam.
Say, say, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. Brothers, please move forward. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. While in my blood I am immersed, look who has come to quench my thirst. He is saying, come fast, Hussein. Father, I made it to him first. From your lips his words I can hear. I'll join you soon upon the spears. From your lips his words I can hear. I'll join you soon upon the spears. لا أرى الموت إلا السعادة، لا حياة إلا الشهادة، لا حياة إلا الشهادة. لا أرى الموت إلا السعادة، لا حياة إلا الشهادة، لا حياة إلا الشهادة. Now that the time has come for you, why do I feel like I'm in Medina? Let me watch you defend the truth the way my mother did in Medina. The Prophet's grace now makes his way. Salam upon the kings of Medina. Go, he is waiting for you. Show the enemies that you're my son, just like your grandfather would. Make all of the enemies to run. Go, he is waiting for you. Your thirst can only be quenched by him. I am thirsty just like you, but my thirst is only to see him. Don't be fooled by the tears that stain my cheek. Soon you will arrive at that which you seek. Hold on, I will come meet you at the peak. Go now, Ali, go now, Ali. Ali Akbar Shaheed, the light of Mustafa. 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 Ali Akbar Shaheed, the light of Ali Ekber Şehit Ali, you are all that I love, and that's why I have to now let you go. A shining star from up above, leave all the pain and your wounds down below. Don't go too far, but don't give up. I want to see you shine, this you should know. Your father is torn apart, for God all your pain will come with ease. When you fall, your life will start, and you will smell a heavenly breeze. Ride away and make me proud, Ali, please don't leave father so fast. Today the sand will be your shroud, and you can drink from the pond at last. Painful to see you go, can you blame me? Your father is attached, don't come tame me. This love is rooted in the love of Nabi. Go now Ali, go now Ali. Ali Ekber Shahid, the light of Mustafa. Ali Ekber Shahid, the light of Mustafa. Ali Ekber Shahid, the light. Ali Ekber Shahid, the inside the tent, they all implore, Ali, come walk in front of us once more. You leaving burns us from the core. You are truly all that Hussein adores. Our hearts feel heavy and sore, as though we've been left stranded on the shore. All that's left are these pieces. Oh youth, come and help Uncle Hussein. Look how Zainab, how she is consoling a sorrowful Hussein. All that's left are these pieces. Oh youth, come and help Uncle Hussein. Look at Zainab, how she is consoling a sorrowful Hussein. How can I lift up your trampled body? How can I bring you back so no one sees? Sakina will be stricken with much grief. How can I lift up your trampled body? How can I bring you back so no one sees? Sakina will be stricken with much grief. Come back Ali, come back Ali. Ali Ekber Shahid, the light of Mustafa. Ali Ekber Shahid, the light of Mustafa. Ali Ekber Shahid, the light of Mustafa. Ali Ekber Shahid, the light. Take me to Karbala, leave me there. Take me to Karbala, leave me there. Take me to Karbala, leave me there, leave me there. Take me to Karbala, leave me there. Take me to Karbala, leave me there. Take me to Karbala, leave me there, leave me there. Hussein, Hussein, bye, Hussein, bye, Hussein, bye. صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا خير خلق الله، السلام عليك يا صفي الله ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب وصي رسول الله. السلام عليك، السلام عليك يا فاطمة سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليكما سيدي شباب أهل الجنة سبتي الرحمة الحسن والحسين. السلام عليك يا علي بن الحسين. السلام عليك يا محمد بن علي. السلام عليك يا جعفر بن محمد. السلام عليك يا موسى بن جعفر. السلام عليك يا علي بن موسى. السلام عليك يا محمد بن علي. السلام عليك يا علي بن محمد. السلام عليك يا حسن بن علي. السلام على الوصي من بعده. اللهم صل على نورك وسراجك وولي وليك ووصي وصيك وحجتك على خلقك. Ya Allah, we ask you, because of the name of the holy Imams that we mentioned, answer everyone's du'as inshallah tonight. Accept from us our a'mal and majalis inshallah. Give shafa to all of those that need healing. Forgive the sins of our departed. Give protection inshallah to the oppressed, especially in Gaza. Give victory for those that are fighting against oppression inshallah. Make us of the companions of the Imam of the age with a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ali. Sorry.
Brothers, there's going to be a Q&A here if you want, and as well as sisters.